Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you rap for those who don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best.
Breaking records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't fuck strange music, man.
All right, you are now tuned in to Breaking Wreckords Radio. My name is Alex, and I have here with me an absolute legend in the flesh, from being signed to Atlantic in the mid-2000s to releasing classic albums like The Greatest Story Never Told Part 1 and 2 to recently being signed to the Strange Music roster. Please welcome to the show, Saigon.
Hey. What's going on? What's going on, man? How you feeling out there? How you feeling?
I'm doing good on my end here. I said this at the beginning of the call, but I can't thank you enough for taking the time out to speak to me here today. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, man. First of all, man, I noticed you guys up in Canada, and I love Canada. One thing I gotta say about even though I've never been to Canada physically, I feel the love. I feel the love from across the border. Like my whole career, I always got a lot of love from T-Dot, from Montreal, from all them pockets who really fuck with hip hop up there in Canada. They always showed me a lot of love, so I want to give the love back. That's why I said when you reached out for the interview, I'm like, yeah, I gotta do it for Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I think Canada has a pretty large following of that kind of traditional, old school, you can call it backpack hip-hop, whatever you want to do, but that traditional kind of New York sound, that grit, I think Canada does have a large following to that. I don't think it's the same caliber as what you see overseas in places like Germany or the UK. I think they kind of take it to another level, and I think they really end up paying respects to that. But I think Canada is not too far behind that, and it's nice to see that we still do end up kind of supporting legends of the craft and people that are actual writers, right? Not I don't know. You know the difference.
They're not the bullshit. Yeah, big difference. Big difference.
100%. So
I like to say if I can't write your raps down and read it, and it reads like something that I want to. I have no interest in.
100%. So I want to talk about Strange Music and the new record coming out as well, 777 Resurrection. However, I like to start these conversations off with a little bit of history first. And I first started hearing about you kind of during that run-up to The Greatest Story Never Told, which faced numerous setbacks in the late 2000s. However, I'm curious to kind of learn more about how you ended up starting in your origin. How did you end up getting introduced to hip-hop culture? Not even necessarily writing, but just as a fan. What got you into hip-hop?
You gotta understand, like I was born in 1977, so I was born around the same time. They said hip hop was born in '73, so I grew up with hip hop. I don't ever remember a time when there wasn't no hip hop. So it's like as I was being raised, my first introduction to music in itself was hip hop music. So it was a part of me. Plus my mother used to rap.
Oh wow!
So it was like. Yeah, so all my life I grew up around this music from the time I knew what music was. There was other genres of music she played as well, but hip hop was very prominent in my household all my life. So I'm one of those hip hop babies for real, to where, my UTFO tape. Like I got UTFO tape for my birthday when I was like 5 years old.
That's
and
fantastic.
So the Fat Boys, I got the Fat Boys tape, and this is what I wanted. Like, I want the Fat Boys tape. I want Force and D's, and So I kind of grew with the culture, and I grew up with the music. So it's been a part of me as long as I've been alive.
What was the name that your mom rocked on the mic? Like, was she an actual, did she actually have
I don't
records
know.
or anything?
She sang and rapped, so I know. So I don't know her rap name, but I just know like she would go at the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat, she would start flowing. That's why when I got heavy into it, it was like she wasn't surprised by it. She was like, I kind of figured you would lean towards, something to do with the culture. Whether I started off as a DJ, people don't really know this.
Oh, wow.
I was DJ Cogswell. My name was DJ Cogswell. And I got some bullshit techniques, SLs, not even the 1200s, some belt drive bullshit. And I used to make these little fucking whack ass mixtapes, and the shits was just not panning out. It took too long to learn how to scratch. I couldn't afford no techniques, So I was like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna start rapping.
Yeah, well,
So I
1200s
started-
were expensive at that time, right? Like people
yeah,
were
in
just
fact,
in our
it's like
communities.
$500 a turntable. You needed like $1,000 back then. $1,000 was like 10 grand now.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Especially as a kid, right? You're like,
yeah,
you
you
know,
know,
that
you're
kind of
like,
money running
Mom,
around.
I want these, and I need two of them.
Yeah.
Bad enough one of them's 500. Yeah, but I need two and a mixer. You're like, oh, no thanks, buddy.
So was it the money that kind of hindered the DJ career? What ended up turning DJing
Nah,
kind
it
of
was
into rapping?
actually actually I had some. It took too long to really learn how to get nice on scratching and all that,
Yeah.
and I was trying to practice, and I got good at making blends. Like I was able to blend, but the scratching part, like to do what Scram Jones does and what DJ Scratch does and all those guys, I wanted to be one of a turntable like Jazzy Jeff and all that, and that takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of practice. Like there's no kind of rhyming that you can do that takes as much practice as learning how to DJ or not even being a turntableologist to where you can scratch and transform and cut with your elbows and your lips and all that. Like I used to want to be one of those guys, but I didn't have the patience that it took to learn that skill set.
What
So I
about
picked
other
up the mic.
elements? What about b-boying or graffiti? Did you
Oh
dabble in
yeah, I
those
did
at
it
all?
all.
Or?
I did graffiti. I used to
dope.
break dance. I did every component of hip hop there is. I dabbled in it, but just the MC part just took on a life of its own as I grew up.